So today we are going to be revising 3 different places in this calculator. If you are completely confused at what you are looking at, I will leave a link in the description to part 1, I guess you could call it, and that's where I actually built the calculator. So these 3 easy steps will allow the program to run more efficiently and clean up what you are looking at, basically. So to get started, what I'm going to do is all of these doubles, I'm going to actually make them be on one line. So what I'm going to do is just put a comma, space, and then put that double equals 0.0, comma, space, add equals 0.0. And then you can come down here and just get rid of these two. We don't need those no more. So now they're all declared on one line. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn this long if-else statement into a switch statement. And it should look a little bit like this. So once you have your switch statement set up, it should look exactly like this. There might be something predefined in there, but you can just erase that. And basically what a switch statement does is it's going to do exactly this, but it's going to allow us to not have a bunch of nested else ifs inside. It basically just cleans it up a lot. Alright, so what we're going to put inside the switch statement is actually going to be signed, because that's what we want to determine, like our if statement down here. But as you can see, it spits out an error. And to fix this, it's because we have sign as a double. Sign has to be an integer. So just copy that, and then do int sign that, semicolon, erase this. Alright, so back to the switch statement. So basically, it's going to look a lot like our if-else statements, but instead of ifs, it's going to have what's called cases. Case. And then put a colon, and then it should bump it to the back like that. Once you have case, you should put what case is equal to. Whoops. What case is equal to. So case 1 will be if they type a 1. And now repeat this for every number. So do case 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, so now that we have our cases, this is not quite finished yet. Now what we have to do is we have to set up breaks, or it will just run through this entire thing, and it won't even be a switch statement. So add a break and then a semicolon to each of these. Alright, so now that you have your breaks set in, now what we're going to do is just copy and paste everything that's in these if statements into each one of these. Now notice down here we have default. Now what default is basically it's else, like else by itself. So if all of these are false, it'll do its default value. And of course that will just return main, so it'll run through the program again. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste all of these for case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4. Alright, now after everything's done, your switch should look something like this. So now what we can do, we can delete this entire if statement right here. And now this looks a lot cleaner than all that junk we had before. So now if we run this, it should run the exact same way. What is the first number? Let's say 10. Second number 2. And let's add them. 12. Because we entered 1. So it came in here and said, okay, if case is 1 of sign, then we add first input plus second input. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the last and final step. And for this, we're going to be allowing the user to determine when the program ends. So after we get done doing their calculation, we need to ask them if they want to run the program again. So to do this, I'm going to add another int, and let's just name it decision. And then make it 0. Whoops. 0. Alright, so now that you have your variable defined, we can go down here and do cout, quotation mark, would you like to calculate more numbers? And then in parentheses we can do yes/no. Just so they know what to enter. And then don't forget your semicolon. And now this is going to be decision. Alright, so now we got, after it does the calculations, it should ask them if they want to calculate more numbers. But of course, it won't do anything, like we've learned before. So now, what you want to do is, I'm just going to use an if statement for this, just for simplicity. But you can use a switch if you feel like you can add and expand more to it. But just for how simple this is, I'm just going to use an if. So if, I'm going to say decision is equal to, so actually up here, let's do 1 for yes, 2 for no. So if decision is equal to 1, then we are going to return main. And then we're going to do else cout thanks for running my program. So if they say yes, it'll return all the way back up here. They can redeclare the variables, or it'll just say thanks for running my program. And actually, let's get this by itself. So let's do system and then CLS. This clears the screen. So now it'll clear the screen and then say thanks for running my program. Alright, so we have a loop, basically an endless program. So if we run this, what was the first number? 10, 10, add. Now notice, this shows up the same time as the answer. Would you like to calculate more numbers? So what we need to do is put a cout and then end L right there. And now break it up. And let's actually do 2 end L's. Break it up a little bit more. Alright, so now if we run this, 1, 1, add 2. Would you like to count more numbers? Whoops. Yes, what is the first number? Alright. Alright, so now we are going to make it where it clears the screen before it returns back to main. So it looks like a fresh new system. And we can't declare it after the main right here, because then it will do the main and it'll come up here and it will never reach the clear. So we have to do this before it. So system and then CLS. Alright, that'll clean it up a bit. So if we run this now, 1, 1, 1, 2, which is correct. And let's say yes, 1 again. So it clears the screen and asks what is the first number again. That's exactly what we want. Alright, so now this revising of this program is technically over. Alright, so that basically wraps up this video. If you have anything you would like to add or let me know about, leave it in the comments. If you like this video, maybe give it a like. And if you want to see more, subscribe. See ya.